You're listening to the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast with Coach Felicia, where we empower Black women to overcome their doubts, fears, and insecurities in order to give birth to their God-given purpose. Join me and sometimes some of my friends on our journey as we remind you that you are not alone. I'm Felicia Wallace, and together we will find our fears and slay them. This episode is sponsored by the Using the Power of Your Voice eGuide, your guide to launching your podcast in 30 days. Slayers, are you feeling a call from God to start a podcast but uncertain about where to begin or what you'll need? Creating a podcast can be a fulfilling and enjoyable experience. Whether you're interested in sharing your expertise on a specific subject, conducting engaging interviews, or educating and entertaining your listeners, podcasting can help you establish strong connections and foster a sense of community. Using the Power of Your Voice is a guide to start your podcast in just 30 days, and it's perfect for anyone who is clear that God told them to start a podcast. Whether you're nervous about recording or unsure where to start, this guide will provide you with valuable insights and actionable steps to help you record and launch in 30 days. In this guide, you'll learn to identify your why, find your topic, learn where to host your podcast, and what equipment you need to start. If you are ready to be obedient to your calling and start your own podcast in just 30 days, download your copy of Using the Power of Your Voice today by going to www.slangselfdoubt.com/podcast. That's www.slangselfdoubt.com/podcast. Thank you for your support, and I can't wait for you to start using the power of your voice. Hey Slayers, welcome back to another episode of the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast. It's your girl, Coach Felicia. Welcome to all the new Slayers and listeners. I just want to thank you all. I don't care how you found me, whether it was by way of a guest episode, solo episode, YouTube, Google, somebody told you, your mama, your auntie, whoever, however you found me. Thank you so much for joining. And I hope that after you listen to this, you'll go back and listen to some old episodes. While you're here, make sure that you, if you're listening, that you are, that you rate, review, share. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. That would help me. I still have a goal of reaching 100,000 downloads by the end of 2024. I got some work to do on my part, but I need your help. And so if you can help me, help me help you, or how you help me. That's it. That's really what it boils down to. I just need some help. Okay. Yeah, so last time I was here, we were talking about pivoting and talking about why we would, not necessarily why, but the reason behind my pivot, as far as just getting kind of readjusted and me having to tell the truth about myself and about the things that were stressing me out and was holding me back from making some necessary changes and moves, so that I could show up, here and continue to do this here thing. And so today we're talking about the pain of pivoting. And what I think is so interesting is that just like old school stuff, whenever we would have conversations and I would get on here and I would share something, it would be like real life things are happening to me in this moment. So if you're watching this, you may notice there's something different about me. I don't have any headphones on. Okay. So after the last episode that I recorded, I started noticing all of this black stuff was like on me, in my hair. And I was like, what is happening? My headset that I had been using, my gosh, for years, it just decided to crumble on me, right? And so as I was trying to do my best to fix it, it was already like there was a little short in it, so I can only hear out of one side. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I gotta figure out something, right? And so the last straw for me was, I don't know if you ever noticed throughout the years, throughout the years, like if I would have the mic, I love my mic, but with the cord, for because of the short in the headphones, I'd have it wrapped around the mic, kind of, if you're watching on YouTube, I had it tucked in between this little piece to try to make sure that I could hear. And so I was doing all of these things to kind of finagle something that I was kind of like my crutch, right? And like I said, this be real time stuff, right? So anyway, so last time I recorded, I'm like, oh man, not only is it only one ear working, now this joint is shutting like all over me. It's like falling apart. And so as I'm trying to do it, I, child, I break the piece off of the little cord, and I say, okay, Lord, this just must mean we done with this. Okay, so I got to get a whole nother headset. That's what we got to do. That was like 2 weeks ago. And clearly I still don't have a headset on. So part of it was out of I wanted the headset out of comfort, right? Because that was how I learned how to record. I learned how to record with earphones on. And so I don't know necessarily if I could hear myself. I think I could hear myself back. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So I could hear myself, so I could tell how clear I sounded. But even with one ear was kind of like a struggle because I was kind of trying to listen, even though only one side was off, right? And so I'm like, okay, I need to get another headset because I can't record without a headset, right? And this is about the one of these things about the pain of pivoting is it makes you uncomfortable, right? And so yesterday, my son had to record a he had to read a essay that he wrote and he needed to record it. And so we're sitting here and I was like, oh, let me hook everything up. And so it hits me then that I did not have a headset, right? Like I forgot that I threw it out 2 weeks ago. And so now as I'm plugging everything up for him to be able to use it, I realized, oh man, I don't have a headset. And so he didn't need it for what he needed to do. He just needed to talk. And so as he talks, he recites his text or his essay or whatever have you. And then I was like, okay, let's play it back. So when I play it back, I'm like, hmm, sounds just fine, right? Like it's literally nothing. The mic is doing what the mic is supposed to do. And so as I was just sitting there kind of like he wanted to redo it because he felt like he needed to do it. I was like, go ahead, I showed him how to work it or whatever. And he's like, is this what you use? And I was like, because he was like, you don't have any recording software. And I was like, this is my recording software, Zoom. Okay. I'm not paying for anything extra. Is this what you use? Yes, that's what I use. So as I go into the kitchen, and so he's doing the recording again, and I hear him again, just like doing it, and it hits me at that moment, like, girl, why did you think you needed to have? Why do you think you need to have the headset? And what is holding you back from still recording even without the headset? Like you now have proof, right, that you saw someone record something, play it back, and it still sounds good, right? And what's the thing for you that's making you question whether or not you can do it that way? And I realized it was out of comfort, that I was just so, like I said, I was so used to using it that I felt like I needed it in order to continue, right? And then, but the painful part of that, and I guess this is the part of the pivot, is that even in doing this right now, I still feel like, oh, am I yelling? Should I talk softer? Should I talk closer to the mic? Should I back up? Like, because I can't hear myself and I can't hear how I sound, I don't know, right? And so even as I'm recording this, I'm just questioning. Like, I literally thought just popped into my head and was just like, maybe I just need to go get something real quick from like Walmart and then come back and re-record this. But I also realized that I can have that thought and at the same time recognize that um stuff has to get done, right? And so I could delay, right? Last week when we talked about the challenges of pivoting, and one of the things that I said was I struggle, honestly struggling with procrastination, right? So when you have to pit, like that was a huge thing for me, right? Clearly, because this is what this episode's about to be about. But it's such a huge thing that I procrastinated on even releasing a guest episode, which has literally nothing to do with the headset, right? Like it just was kind of like this goes together. And so because it's not together, I can't do it, right? And the thing about it is that I can listen to the playback on my laptop, I can listen to the playback on my AirPods. I have these uh Five Below headset that doesn't have a cord. It's a Bluetooth headset. If I wanted to, I can listen back to that. Like there's so many different things that I could do, but I chose to harp and focus on the thing that was comfortable for me. And because I was harping on that, it made it difficult for me to make a shift. It made it difficult for me to decide, okay, I can still do this and it still come out however it needs to come out, right? But it wasn't until I saw somebody else do it and saw that you use my equipment, my stuff in my space to know that, oh, it's possible, right? And so when I think about that, about, the like, again, like last week we were talking about the challenges and procrastination, oftentimes the pain of pivoting is having to do something different, having to get outside your comfort zone, having to do the work despite not having all the things. And when you are assigned, you have an assignment and you are supposed to be doing something and you are using items, tools, resources as an excuse as to why you can't get it done, that's a problem, right? I think you have to acknowledge it. Like I say, I acknowledge it that was the reason why I know that that's the reason why I had the procrastination and delayed on recording the episode. It's because I thought I needed it, right? It is something that I felt like I need to have it in order for it to be complete. And I think that we have to be able to look at situations and be able to say, like, depending on what's going on, like, is it necessary? Can I still do the thing that needs to be done without this one thing, right? Like, if it's an integral part of, like, here's the thing. I had a coaching client last week and she was talking about she had some things that was going on in her house or whatever have you, and she was having some difficulty wanting a space, right? And so she used the word control, right? So this also goes to this, right? The pain and pivoting is that you lose control, right? And so as I'm talking to her, I'm telling her, like, there's other things that you can do. You can use the voice memo on your phone to record, right? If you have a hosting site, my hosting site doesn't have it. And maybe it do. I don't know. I should probably look into that. But if you have a hosting site that allows you to record directly into their app, you can use that. You don't need the setup. And I think, excuse me, especially if it's just audio, I think that we get so caught up in what has to be. This also reminds me of when you are applying for a job, right? And because I was in that season not too long ago, there were a lot of jobs that I did not apply to because when they went down the list of requirements and what they were looking for, I was like, oh, I don't got that. I don't got that. I don't got that. I don't got that. So because I said I don't got it, I dismissed it, right? And how many things are we dismissing? How many things are we failing to do? How many things are we procrastinating on? How many things are we giving up because we aren't checking all the boxes? Some stuff you just got to do regardless of what boxes are checked or not checked, right? And I think that we have to be honest with ourselves about the reason why we're not doing some of these things, right? And if you're being like I said, with the whole job thing, like I know that a lot of those jobs I didn't apply to because I was like, oh, I don't have my degree. I don't have this. And it's like, but did you also have other jobs that probably require that you didn't have it? I did, right? So some of it is also proof in the pudding. Some of it is proof in the track record of, like, you don't necessarily need it, may be suggested, strongly suggested. But if you can do the work without having those things with what you have, why aren't you qualified? Right. And I talked about that the last time about feeling not worthy and not qualified. And so some of that it led into my procrastination. Some of it was the comparison of seeing other people, be in full-time entrepreneurship and killing it, and other people who were doing full-time entrepreneurship and full-time jobs, and they out here doing the thing, and I'm over here like, you know what I'm saying? But I do believe that as long as you continue to take one step forward every single day towards whatever that thing is that you're supposed to do, not something that is forced, right? Like I've always said, you guys know that this is a God thing, so this ain't got nothing to do with me. I know that every single time I try to not use the podcast as a tool or an avenue or to try to or to try to not do it and use whatever excuse is the reason why I can't do it. God always reminds me, like, this is a part of your assignment, right? This is what you're supposed to be doing. And so last week as well, I talked to, I was connected with the young lady who, by the time we ended the conversation, we realized we knew some of the same people, but a mutual friend connected us. And as we were talking, just about kind of the same thing that we're talking about right now. And I was just telling her how, just life is lifing and having to pivot and really trying to figure out what slant self doubt is supposed to look like now, but focusing on the thing that I can't control, which is the podcast, and the thing that I have, you know, something that I can do to keep moving forward. I realized that a part of that is community, right? And so part of the pain of pivoting is that we're doing it by ourselves. And when you don't open your mouth and when you don't ask for help, or you don't reach out to a person who may have gone through the same thing that you've gone through, or be going through the same thing, or even in just a listening ear, pivoting can be difficult because it feels alone. You feel like you're the only person that's going through this moment this transition at this time. And so having that conversation with a complete stranger at that time was necessary for me. I walked away from that conversation feeling encouraged, feeling like it was like a nice little boost that I needed, right? Like I was just like, man, like it is work to be done. And I keep limiting my work to what it is that I think I can do. I keep limiting my work to what I think that I'm qualified for and what I think that um I should be doing, versus doing what I can and allowing God to do the rest. And I think that we have to leave room, especially in our God-given purposes and in these God-given situations, we have to leave room from him. And part of our problem in pivoting is that, uh, you know, y'all might want to test me after this, but whatever. Is that we blame God, right? We mad at him, and we've had this conversation before, y'all, because me and the Lord have tussled. But we blame him for where we are. We are, you may not be saying it, but that's what it is. You are blaming him for being in the current situation because you think that he was supposed to do something else. And we've all been there. And I would just encourage you to ask yourself the question of, did you do everything that you can? What were you supposed to do? Have you seen this thing to completion? One of the reasons why the podcast will never not be the thing that I'm supposed to do, because I don't believe that I've seen it to completion. I think I take it so far to where I get to a point where I'm like, oh, okay, look at us. Just like losing weight, right? You lose 5 pounds and you go, oh, look at me. Somebody say you lost weight, then you just stop. Then you gain 10 more back, right? So that is where what happens. It's that that you get the momentum and then you stop because you think you did it. And for me, I'm always learning the same lesson over and over again because I keep stopping. I keep changing, shifting my focus and doing something else. And so a part of this time and this pivot is that like I said, I don't want to lose it. I don't want it to disappear. I don't want slang stuff out to belong to somebody else. Like it's mine. And so I have to do the necessary things for myself and for what it is that I want to do in order to continue to see it thrive. I told you all last time that that was my concern, that I couldn't thrive in my full-time job. And I didn't think I would be able to thrive in entrepreneurship as well. And knowing that now makes me more cautious, but also, I don't know, I think it gave me a new perspective and it's allowed me to think bigger about what it is that I want and what it is I want to do for the community of slaying self-doubt, right? I want to build community. I want to continue to do this. I want to have in-person events and stuff like that. So as I was talking to the young lady, it just so happened she's like, yeah, I feel like I've kind of mastered that. And I was just like, there's so many things that are in my head. Like that's how I knew that conversation was um like anointed, and it was specifically for me, because the things that we talked about are the things that I had been struggling with. It were the things that I had been doubting whether or not I could do. And he intentionally connected me with somebody who has done those things, who has done it in a different type of way, but who could show me, like, because one of the things that I said, like, I want to be able to do this. You can't even see my hands. I want to do stuff so big, but for real, it needs to be very intimate. And because I want to do it all, I end up getting lost in the all, and I don't focus on the necessary, and what's needed at this moment. And so, a part of, again, that, I mean, even that is has pain to it in pivoting, right? Because you have a desire for something bigger, and sometimes you need to retreat. You need to go smaller. You need to do what you can with what you have before you, what they say, you got a champagne taste with a Andre's budget or something like that. Because Andre's for real is $4. But like, that's how I feel. Like, I'm trying to be out here with my Vivo Clico when all I can do is Andre's, right? Maybe a little. What's the other joint? Oh my gosh, my brain right now. With some I could probably do a brute. What's that? The black bottle, not the Moet joint, but y'all know the other one with the, it start with a C. I can't even remember. Child, let me see my brain. But but yeah, like, I really do. I recognize that last time, having to tell the truth about what I was feeling released some of my pain from having to pivot, right? Because I think that we get so wrapped up in what it looks like to other people, the disappointment that other people may have. You not looking perfect, you not looking like you have it all together. And I've gotten more feedback from people who have been like, nah, that's real, right? By just telling the truth and saying that it sucks, saying that it hurts, saying that, just in any life situation where you have to pivot, there's pain that's goes along with it, because you have to grieve what was, right? Or what you thought it was. And it is it's a tough thing. It really is. So today's encouragement really, as y'all can see, I told y'all we're gonna go back. But today's encouragement really is to sit with the pain. For real. Like, I really encourage you to sit with the pain of the pivot, in conjunction with telling the truth, right? The more you keep trying to mask it and pretend like it's not real, or pretend like it's not what it is, the harder it's going to be. Okay. Because the pivot is there. You see what I'm saying? Like, again, if we using the example of and oh God, let me just tell you something else that just hit me in this moment, right? As we're talking, of course, because now I'm paying attention to myself because I don't have the headset, right? I'm going to use this headset as an example for those of you all. If you'd like to come to the YouTube channel and then hear it about this part, I don't know what the timer is at this moment, but I'm getting ready to illustrate something that I just realized that I just realized as I'm doing this. Okay. So a few weeks back, right? Let me make sure I'm not, hold on. I want to make sure that I don't, when I say this, I'm not lying to myself. Hold on. Okay. I'm still going to do it, but it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Okay. So a few weeks back, I told you all, I was like, oh, I think I shared, I may have, I don't know when, but sometime, that I need to get a green screen, right? Because one of the things that it was super annoying to me is that when I had my headset on, every now and again, if I moved, it would, because I'm using a virtual background, it would show the stuff that's behind me. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that my hands are showing you the sign that says slaying self-doubt, which is, I kept saying it's fine, but it was just annoying. And then I was saying, and see right here, you can see it in the space, right? Sometimes out of comfort, you don't realize that you don't need some of the things that you thought you did, right? So out of my comfort of using that, I probably could still use a green screen, maybe, because my head kind of disappears in the in the virtual background. But a part of my problem, or one of my annoyances with having the headset, was that you could see the background and it felt just like ugh to me. And I didn't realize it until I was getting ready to close out that I hadn't had that happen this entire time. Why? Because I don't have the headset. I'm going to run this back to you one more time because I don't think you got it, but I'm gonna give it to you. I was complaining about the thing that brought me comfort because it was giving off a look that I did not want. It was as comfortable as it was, as used to it as I was. It was throwing my background off, right? It was messing with the what they say, feng shui or whatever have you. It was messing with what was going on here, which was annoying to me. So even though it's a part of being my comfort, it was causing me problems. And it happened to break, right? And I didn't use it. Or I didn't use it, and I was so uncomfortable about not using it that I didn't even pay mind to I didn't think about the benefits of it no longer being here. To now be here and realize you can now see my whole head without, unless I put my hands up here. Not once since I've been recording have you seen my background. Now, if I move my arms and stuff like that, you're gonna see certain things. That's gonna happen because it's a virtual background. So could I still use it? I could. But the complaint that I was having no longer even exists. It doesn't exist anymore because the thing I thought I needed, I don't even need, which gave me some space. Like it freed me up. It is now delivered me from something that I thought was annoying. Do you hear what I'm saying? That sometimes the thing that you think you need is the thing you need to let go. Mm, mm, mm. I just blessed somebody's soul. I just want you to know that I blessed your soul right there. The thing you think you need, the thing you are holding on to out of comfort, out of obligation, out of history, out of I can't do it without this because this the way I always been doing it. That is the thing that's holding you back from what could be. Because here I was, literally at this moment, I'm sitting here saying to myself, remember at the beginning of this conversation, I said, I'm trying to think, well, am I going to go to Walmart and get a whole nother headset? And now I'm saying to myself, I don't even need a headset anymore because I like the way I look here. I like the fact that you can see my whole face. I like the fact that I'm not trying to adjust. Like I was trying to adjust oh my God. With the headset, I was literally being so still and so cautious about how I moved when I was recording so that I didn't throw off the background, so it wouldn't be a distraction. But now that the headset doesn't even, it's not even here, I can move my head, okay? I can turn like this, no problem whatsoever. But the thing that I thought I needed, my God, it just freed me. Okay, y'all. Like, I wasn't really sure when I started this conversation. I knew what I wanted to talk about. And I kept saying, usually the Lord shows up at some point in time in this conversation to free somebody. So I'm telling you, my encouragement, the thing that you think that you need is holding you back. I promise you, I am telling you, things may look so much more better. I don't even know if that's like proper English, but it's gonna work today. So much more better. Okay. If you just let go of the thing that you think you need, the thing that you think, not the thing you absolutely, the thing you think you need. I thought I needed that. I'm fine. Episode complete. Still recorded. Still going to publish. Still going to be on video. You can hear me. I'm sure of that because I tested the microphone before. Okay. What are we doing? What are we doing? What is the holdup? What are you waiting for? So, two-part question. Okay. no, two-part encouragement. No, so encouragement, then a question. The encouragement is sit with your pain, tell the truth about the pivot. What is it that's bothering you? What is it that's causing you to not move? Right. Like, though I want that's my that part. Like when you tell the truth and you also recognize the pain and you sit in it, that will be the thing that's what's causing you to procrastinate. Whatever it is, that's what's causing you to procrastinate. Okay. And then I want you to answer, what do you need to let go? It could be a thought, it could be a feeling, it could be a thing, it could be something, but there's something you have to let go in order for this pivot to make. Because remember, the definition of a pivot is to turn or twist, right? So if you, in order for you to, even in, not even that, the second part of this definition is complete change in the which one does something, not a partial. Come on, Lord. Not a real quick. Even when you pivot in basketball, you have to move. It's not just a thought. Like I know I need to. This is a pivot, right? Yes, that's what you're in, but have you completely changed? Have you twisted? Have you turned? Have you done anything? No, no, no. You just keep talking about the fact that, yeah, this is a pivot season for me. I'm in, I just got to figure it out. But you ain't done nothing. Again, last time we talked, faith without works is dead. You haven't done anything. So, again, what is the thing what's the thing you need to let go in order for you to completely change the way you do something? Okay. What do you need to let go to completely change the way you do something? Maybe mine was the headset. That was part of it. I don't know. We're going to see. But I'm telling you right now, I feel free. I feel free. And my prayer is that you feel free once you let go of the thing that you need to let go. Okay. As always, thank y'all for rocking with me. I know this is a super short episode, but hey, when it's purposeful, it don't need to be all day. You hear me? Um, Again, if you enjoy this podcast and find it valuable, please consider making a donation by buying me a coffee. Your support of a small donation of $5 to $10 helps me to create new content, grow our audience, and purchase new equipment. Take charge of your mental health and get 10% off your first therapy session at betterhelp.com/slang. Y'all know Jesus and therapy. Specifically, y'all know this month of September is Suicide Awareness Month. There's a lot of mental health challenges that people are having on a day-to-day basis. And I hope that we are not taking that lightly. I know years previous, and when I say years previous, like decades ago, it used to just kind of be a thing. And people just like, oh, they just this. You need to just do that. People need help, right? And so my job, my part of my purpose is to supply you with as much help as I can give you, right? And so if you are we're entering seasonal depression season, and just other mental health things, I want y'all to be well, right? And so that's the reason why I'm always going to be an advocate for therapy. I'm always going to be an advocate for Jesus. Okay. But I do believe that in order for you to be well and whole, you have to take care of your whole body, and your head is that Lord. Okay. Because last week, my pastor preached about, um, the wellness, but more so that just like the way the enemy attacks you is that he starts at the head. Okay. And if he can get you to doubt, if he can get you to be in fear, if he can get you to be anxiety ridden, if he can get you to be so disconnected mentally from what's happening around you, he's done his job. And so I need us to really take heed to that. And so again, I don't care if you don't use BetterHelp, use something. You can go to Psychology Today to find a therapist. I don't care where you go. If you have a job and they offer EAP, and that's the Employee Assistance Program, and your job offers coaching or therapy, generally they give you 6 sessions, 6 free sessions. It is there for you. Use it. Use it. Okay. Um, Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. Those of you all who are subscribed, I know I ain't sent nothing out in a while. I'm gonna be honest. I forgot. I'm gonna do it this week though because I need to. That's just the end of that. Please share this episode with at least 10 people. Again, we are still trying to hit 100,000 downloads by the end of 2024. Follow me on social at Slang Self Doubt. Until next week, keep slang, sis. See ya. All right, y'all, that's all for this week. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to share, subscribe, rate, and review. Remember to head over to Facebook and Instagram and follow me at Slang Self Doubt. Oh, wait, don't forget, go to my YouTube channel and watch this episode, and remember to press the subscribe button. Until next week, see ya.